Hi, it's your friend Danny, and in the past week and a half, I'd say I'd amassed a pile of books, a pretty good, hefty pile of books. I even just got some today, which gave me the idea that I should do like a book haul. It's very heavy. So, it's a lot. I'm gonna get straight to the point. I'm gonna start off with books that have been gifted to me through like Christmas or whatever, and my friends. So, my first book is the short one called In Watermelon Sugar, and it's a pretty short read. Each chapter is like 1 or 2 pages. Like some of them are longer, but they're mostly like a few pages long. This will be a quick, I could read it in one sitting. I'm excited to read this. Haven't yet, but I will soon. My next gifted book is the dreaded Kind's Jawbone. This is going to be a lifelong venture. If you don't know what Kind's Jawbone is, only 3 people have been able to solve the mystery of this book. But I'm excited. It'll give me something to do. And what my friend Kyra says, it'll give me something to get angry at. So, my next book is On the Move by Oliver Sacks. I got this from my lovely grandmother. And we had a conversation once about scientists, and she told me about Oliver Sacks, who sounds like a living legend, and I'm just so excited. She wanted me to read his autobiography first, just to get a taste of what he's like, but he basically worked with psych patients with really interesting issues, I guess. Like, he wrote The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat, which she also got me, but I left it there on accident. So, but I have the autobiography with me. Pretty sure, yeah, those are my gifted books that I got. So, on to the used books. I'm a huge fan of used bookstores. I think that they're affordable. They're so fun. They smell so good. They almost always have a little cafe inside of them or something. And so I am just going to bring up, first one is The Trial by Franz Kafka. And I've been wanting to get into Kafka lately. I read his short story, The Metamorphosis. Loved it. It was interesting to read, but it was cool, and I liked reading it, and it was easy to, it was only like 30 pages, so I'm gonna read his book, The Trial, which is a lot like The Stranger by Albert Camus, and Albert Camus is my love. I love Albert Camus. It's about a man who was wrongly charged, and now he has to go to court for something. I'm not positive. There's parallels between him and Camus, though, in that aspect. And The Stranger is my favorite book of all time. If you haven't read The Stranger, read it. It is short, it is powerful, it packs a punch, and simple sentences with big meaning. I love that. I love it when people can express a really big feeling or meaning with simplicity, with essence, man. My next book from that bookstore was, and I'll just bring up this one, Give It Up, a graphic novel Kafka book, and it just looks kind of cool. It's got interesting art. Kind of reminds me of, if anybody's seen Intergalactic by Kid Cudi, kind of reminds me of Kid Cudi's, like, Mr. Rager style, because it's, like, black and white with the crazy people. I don't know. Seems pretty cool. And then I got, of course, I honestly haven't gotten a book by the Dalai Lama yet. I have all these books with introductions by the 14th Dalai Lama because I read so much Thich Nhat Hanh and a bunch of like Shambhala classics. And yet I have yet to read a Dalai Lama book. So this is just reflections from the journey of life, and it's written in like this sense. So it's just kind of like quotes, but this is all from the same bookstore. I'm sorry. I went ham that day. This was like a week ago. Everyday Life in the Viking Age. I have a lot of Nordic blood. Like Finnish, Nordic, Swedish, blah, blah, blah. So, I'm excited. I want to read about Vikings. And it's got like pictures in it. It just looks so fun. So, yeah. My last book from that bookstore is Medieval Illuminators and Their Methods of Work. This isn't necessarily the medieval illuminators that I like. Like, I really like Kepler and Galileo, like the sciencey stuff. This is more of like philosophical, expressive, I don't know. But it's hunky. It's a hunky book. And it just looks like it'd be cool to read or just to have out on a coffee table so that somebody could learn about a medieval illuminator. And I don't have a coffee table, so that's not going to happen. So that's all from that bookstore. My last 3 books I got today. I got Death of a Salesman by Arthur Miller. I heard that this book was really good, or this drama, whatever. I heard that it was really good. And Arthur Miller, I'm pretty sure, also wrote The Crucible. I really liked it, and I haven't read Arthur Miller since then. So I thought, why not get Death of a Salesman? Looks cool, and I also just like the cover. It just is so, you know. My next book is also a drama. It is King Lear by Shakespeare, and the only reason why I got this book is because I read If We Were Villains, and they just mentioned King Lear like a few times, and I was like, oh, there's King Lear. I should get it. So I got it. And my last book, which I am the most excited about, oh my goodness. I have been wanting to read this book since I first heard about it because it just sounds so cool. And it's like dark academia, so if you're into that, like if you're into If We Were Villains or The Secret History, which I actually haven't read, surprisingly. Sirens and Muses. And even though it's huge, it's got nice spacing and big words, so it shouldn't be too hard to read. It's only like 300 pages, even though it looks huge. It's really not. Look at the cover. It's so cool. I really like it. And it's basically about these art school students, rivalry in New York, and like all this crazy stuff. And I'm like, oh, that is my book haul. This is only in like the past 2 weeks. 2 weeks and this many books. If you're like me, you probably like to buy books as much as you like to read them. What was wrong with me? I already have like 40 books on my TBR. Just chilling on my bookshelf back there. I don't know. Anyways, that is my little book haul.